The date is November 28th, 2014. Out of nowhere, the worldwide science fiction phenomenon that has plagued every generation with nostalgia in some fashion was officially revealed to return to the big screen. Legendary veterans such as Han Solo, Chewbacca, and Princess Leia will return as blatant pandas in order to bait in the older demographics, while an entirely new cast of characters was dominated to introduce a new audience to the lionized franchise. Including this list of fresh entries were Kylo Ren, BB-8, Rey, and Finn. Up to this point, the world have already seen most of these character models in the former trilogies. Kylo Ren is the equivalent to Darth Vader, BB-8 is just a rehashed R2-D2 with a more sleek and innovative design, and Rey was just our typical Force user. However, Finn was a drastically different story. Finn was unique. Finn was a character created by a divergent formula. Finn was excited for forging his own legacy, forging a new breed of individualistic ethos that should have left moviegoers transfixed and mesmerized. Once more, moviegoers should have left the theaters with a John Boyega-sized print indented into their brains. Please notice how I placed much emphasis on the words should have. The Force Awakens trailer that I alluded to earlier began by showing a pitch-black screen, indicating that you, the audience member, did not know where the direction of this new trilogy of films was going. Out of this ominous void, a backdrop of Jakku dominates the trailer, followed by the chilling voice of Snoke uttering the words, "There has been an awakening." Finn, donning his stormtrooper outfit, then emerges from the scorching hot sand of the desolate planet, waking up after the TIE fighter that he and Poe hijacked crashed. For me personally, the implication in this opening shot was that Finn was force sensitive, being awakened to his power after witnessing the gruesome massacre of the tiny Jakku village the day prior. Finn being involved in this grisly invasion was a metaphorical wake-up call, making him realize that he has been fighting for the wrong side all this time. That is precisely why he decided to break Poe out of detainment on the First Order Star Destroyer that he was stationed on. After believing that Poe died from the crash, Finn tracks to a Nemo outpost, parched and exhausted from being exposed to the sun's blistering heat for so long. There he encounters Rey, who up to this point was just scavenging and saving BB-8 from Tito. This is an issue that I have with the sequel trilogy in general, particularly with The Force Awakens. However, that will be discussed for later. Eventually, the whole game of returned veterans Han Solo and Chewbacca land on Takodana, where they're confronted by a BB-8 seeking First Order. Preceding their arrival, Rey finds Anakin's lightsaber tucked away in Maz Kanata's basement, where she discovers that she's force-sensitive and scampers Rey into the Force. Right there and then is where we discover basically Rey's only distinguishing characteristic in the entire movie. Although she wants to make a difference and be the hero, Rey still has her doubts and she possesses the ability or confidence to do so. On Jakku, she's a lonely scavenger girl who desperately wished to leave. Now she left Jakku, wants to make a change, yet doesn't have the mental capacity or strength to do so. If she was a more developed character that did more than be unsure of her powers sometimes and be powerful for the rest of the film, then I personally find her compelling more of a comprehensible protagonist. And by this stage in the movie, Finn appeared to be more integral than his female counterpart. He decides to go against all his prior philosophies, go against the program manipulated to him by a young age, and strives to be the hero and not a faceless murderer. Yet he's still complicating his decision to revolt since his new role is unfamiliar to him. For once, he's a small fish in a big pond, not the reverse. He was so accustomed to being part of a larger faction that outlined himself for the new group of individuals under him. So for the reason, it would be understandable for him to want to abandon his new companions. He does, yet he fails because of the First Order's arrival on Takodana, so he finally resolves the mental conflict that has been draining him, takes Anakin's lightsaber, and ignited it, and his official allegiance to the Resistance was also ignited. Such an awe-inspiring moment, really a momentous shift from what the world is accustomed to with Star Wars. Yeah, well that's ruined about an hour afterwards. So, let's skip to the end of The Force Awakens, where Finn and Rey duel Kylo Ren on Starkiller Base. Finn confronts the masked Omen first and is strictly defeated after the last lashes him in the back with his crushed lightsaber. Rey takes Anakin's lightsaber that was used by Finn in the first act of his encounter, where she shortly thereafter ensues in combat with the fallen son of Han Solo. Rey, a character with minimal development and was only prominent for being force-sensitive, overcomes the much more experienced Force user. Sure, Chewbacca did shoot Kylo in the side with his lethal bowcaster, but Kylo managed to defeat Finn while fatally injured. Shouldn't the same fate have happened to Rey? But long story short, Rey took Finn's lightsaber and ultimately his soul and amazing character arc in The Force Awakens. The next time we will see a rogue stormtrooper was in The Last Jedi undergoing back to treatment. He wakes up, sees Poe and asks him, "Where's Rey?" Fully healed, Finn goes on an unapproved mission accompanied by everyone's favorite Star Wars character, Rose Tico, so that they can send Faye a transmission so that she knows where the Resistance is when she returned from Octo after learning rudimentary Jedi skills from the exiled Luke Skywalker. Finn fails. The remaining Resistance fleet that wasn't crushed by the Supremacy fled to Crate. The rebellion, demoralized and exhausted, are being clobbered by a First Order ground crew. To stall the remaining Resistance with some time to escape, Finn bravely decided to sacrifice himself by destroying the First Order cannon, which would have killed him as well in his efforts. Think of how beautiful that would have been for Finn's arc. He betrays the First Order in order to make a positive impact, and then sacrifice himself so that the good guys can survive and fight another day. But that can't happen. He's a main character. Plus, he's black. So fan favorite Rose Tico manages to accelerate fast enough to miraculously crash into Finn's ski speeder as a last-ditch attempt to save him, even though the consequences could have been fatal. If Luke didn't force project himself from halfway across the galaxy, the entire Resistance could have been slaughtered, thus erasing them from history. And then there's Finn from the Rise of Skywalker. He's somewhat of a meme these days. And also, he shouts Rey's name a lot. And now, Finn does not feel unique for the introduction of Jaina, even though I did say she was a positive in my Rise of Skywalker video. Turning gears now, Jaina was the best new character, and honestly one of my favorite sequel trilogy characters. Just like Finn, she's a defected First Order Stormtrooper, which got me excited. But opinions can wane and alter, which is precisely what happened in terms of my sentiments towards Bad Teeth Girl. I guess a month ago, I saw it as a positive for the potential that it brought. Maybe following episode 9, Jaina and Finn could have convinced stormtroopers still loyal to the cause of the First Last Final Order that they made a mistake. But when considering Jaina in this vacuum, and when considering her in this tiny bubble encapsulated in the 2.5-hour run time of episode 9, she just undermined what made Finn distinct from his fellow sequel trilogy characters. In short, Finn was a character with all the potential in the world, however was ultimately tarnished with his continuous storyline in episodes 8 and 9. Just like with The Rise of Skywalker, I want to love him, but I can't. See you later, Gucci Gang.